still have the choice, ultimate authority over what happens to her body.
But there's a child inside her body.
Hold on. What about meth?
Like, should she be allowed to do meth?
Yeah.
I think if someone is doing meth while they're pregnant, that it is completely acceptable for something like, I don't know what the name of the service is in the United States.
Child services?
I guess DCFS would be...
Oh, it's her body, though.
Yeah, it's her body.
If she wants to do meth, what's the big deal?
The big deal is that she's intentionally trying to kill a child.
Hold on there a minute.
Yeah, and I see where we're going.
I don't understand what you're saying.
What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that?
I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be.
Welcome to the show. You're one-on-one with Wes the Sports Guy here on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey, and online all the time at westhesportsguy.com. Make sure you bookmark that site to get all my social media links, the podcast link, leave a 5-star review if you like what you're listening to on all the various podcast platforms. You can get that link conveniently located for you at westhesportsguy.com. Stock up at coffeebrandcoffee.com by clicking the link in the description below of this video or going to coffeebrandcoffee.com and using the promo code 101WES. Get your favorite light, medium, dark roast coffees, your favorite teas, cocos, candies, anything you would want at coffeebrandcoffee.com, but make sure you use that promo code 101WES to save some money at checkout. Stock up and get the new flavor of strawberries and cream, or get another favorite that is blueberry cobbler. Also my personal favorite, salted caramel. Many different flavors you can choose from, all located for you at coffeebrandcoffee.com. Save some money clicking the link in the description below or using the promo code 101WES at checkout. Innocent until proven guilty. It is part of the due process and really the most important part of our legal system here in the United States of America. Unfortunately, there are quite a few people, even elected officials and even people that are sworn in to uphold the law and due process, that don't believe in innocent until proven guilty and believe it's actually the other way around. And a lot of it is really in the court of public opinion, which really holds no legal recourse when it comes to due process. Innocent until proven guilty, even if it's the most heinous thing you could think of, which was in the case with punter Matt Araiza, who was drafted last season by the Buffalo Bills, a punter. He was most likely going to win the job for the Buffalo Bills going into late August as the season was just about to get underway. And then it became public. A civil lawsuit was filed against him and 2 others due to a rape allegation. When Matt Araiza, and specifically when he was a senior at college at San Diego State, the 2 others that were accused were former teammates of his at San Diego State. But not to get into the nitty-gritty of the horrific accusations, mind you, accusations against Matt Araiza and 2 others, they were found not to be criminally liable because when the prosecution was given all of the evidence and also subpoenaed and put out warrants to get access to said evidence of an alleged rape that happened to this woman who was underage at the time of the alleged rape, 17 years old, the video evidence that they had gotten showed that there was no rape that had occurred. The evidence that they were given showed that there was no rape. There was no way that they were going to be able to prove that anything horrific happened to her based on the evidence that they obtained. Now, a civil lawsuit is a completely different story. She wants financial restitution for the alleged crime that happened, but everybody clamored to immediately indict and find Matt Araiza guilty of the horrific accusation. Now, I point this out to also point to a few other examples of why we have never learned this lesson. Court of public opinion needs to hold its freaking horses on a lot of this stuff, especially when it comes to rape accusations. 2 examples that I have. Have you ever heard of the name Brian Banks? He was a star high school football player. He was 16 years old at the time he was accused of rape. He lost 10 years of his life for a false accusation. He had to claw his way back to prove his innocence, maintaining his innocence the entire time. Yes, he did take a plea deal for the alleged accusation, but he still maintained his innocence, finally getting his name cleared over 10 years after said accusation. Have we learned the lesson from that? I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, why would anybody lie about such a thing? Have you seen Instagram? Instagram is full of lies, full of falsities, full of just the worst things you could imagine somebody could actually lie about. It's all over Instagram. It's all over TikTok. It's all over social media. But I point out Instagram because it's one of the biggest offenders about it. Why would somebody lie about such a thing? Look at Instagram. Spend 5 minutes if you've never done it. There are lots of lies on that. Now, this doesn't mean that I automatically don't believe anybody that comes forward with such accusations, but I withhold judgment because I let the process play itself out. My opinion publicly, if I choose to espouse it, like with Deshaun Watson and his apparent love affair with many different masseuses, I withheld judgment until the process played itself out. He was never charged criminally, and he did settle with a lot of his civil lawsuits that came for him, over 24. My opinion of that is the guy had some issues. He still probably does have some issues that he needs to work himself out, and he's paying for it financially. And he's also been, given a large contract with said accusations. Not a lot of people were talking about it at that time. Some, not a lot, but hey, if we're going to be basing it off of one's appearance, skin color, for example, then okay, that's your business. You want to make that kind of stand? Whatever. I don't care what you look like. If you are accused of something, you are innocent until proven guilty. Matt Ariza being a white guy, innocent until proven guilty. Brian Banks was a black guy, innocent until proven guilty. The same standard for all. Public opinion doesn't mean shit in these cases. The process needs to play itself out. You espousing about it and demanding justice left and right doesn't do anybody any good. The accuser and the accused. It does nobody any good. And the biggest example of all this, if you haven't heard about Duke Lacrosse, I strongly suggest you watch the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary, which apparently, even though ESPN made this documentary, bankrolled it, backed it, promoted it, it is an amazing piece of work. Just from the standpoint that all of the stuff how the timelines came out, how the evidence was withheld against the accused. It's amazing to see in retrospect how horrible the media specifically played that case out. They used it to their advantage to push a narrative, a false narrative, mind you, that, it's all based off of color and class and all this racial tension and everything that's been, decades in the making. That's not what that story was about. That story was about a woman who did not want to lose custody of her child, was caught doing something for her escort work, whatever the case may be, but she was caught doing something to where she was probably going to lose custody of her child and decided to make false accusations. And then combine that with a corrupt district attorney who withheld evidence that proved the innocence of the accused. He eventually got disbarred. But you put all that stuff together and it was a time bomb of gross misjustice. Absolute. Highly recommend that you watch that documentary. Fantastic Lies, ESPN 30 for 30. And I say ESPN bankrolled that, backed it up, but yet they still conduct themselves in a way that is opposed to what the lesson should be learned from that documentary. Do not rush to judgment on anything, no matter how horrible the accusations may be. And this doesn't just go for the journalists, members of the media, the politicians, all of those elite corporate crats. This also applies to YouTubers. Mainly one who, at the time, I watch his videos pretty regularly, but even at the time, last year, before the season got underway, he had to insert his opinion about said accusation that even at the time I was like, really? You're going this hard in your football preview about this accusation? See for yourself.
Kind of like the punk god, Matt Ariza.
He was beloved until allegations of being involved in a gang rape came to light. These accusations are fucking heinous. Get the fuck out, Matt. Go right to fucking jail right fucking now.
Let this be a lesson for you and your channel, Urinating Tree. Do not rush to judgment on any of this stuff. Learn this lesson. Innocent until proven guilty. That is due process. Injecting your opinion into that video didn't do anybody any good. And now you look like a fool for doing that. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell below to get notified when all the latest videos are posted on this channel, whether it be at YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, or Odyssey. Bookmark WestonSportsGuy.com to get my social media links, the podcast link, all conveniently located for you at WestonSportsGuy.com. Save yourself some money on your favorite coffee, tea, or cocoa from Coffee Brand Coffee at CoffeeBrandCoffee.com by clicking the link in the description below or using the promo code 1on1Wes at checkout. I will see you next time.